there! Welcome back to Elements of Art and our unit on color. I'm Caroline, and I'd like us to look at a few logos together. What do you notice about these brand logos? Yes, they have shapes and letters, and they may represent companies you know, but remember, this unit is on color. So what do you notice about the colors? Well, as I'm sure you've observed, I've arranged them into a bit of a rainbow, but I want you to look beyond that. I want you to think about why brands pick specific colors for their logos. Now imagine if these famous logos suddenly switch their colors. It would look really odd, right? That's because colors are chosen with a lot of thought. Colors aren't just random. They help us feel a certain way about brands and remember them better. This is called color psychology, and it explains how colors affect us. Brands use this to connect with us on a deeper level. Color speaks to our emotions in a language all its own. We're surrounded by colors daily, yet we often overlook their impact on our feelings. Today, we'll talk about how colors influence our emotions by reflecting on how colors chosen by brands are more than just for looks. Together, let's discover how colors weave into our lives. We've got an exercise for you in your PDF to kick things off. We'll focus on our primary and secondary colors. For each color, take a moment to think about it and make a connection to an emotion you think it most closely relates to. Give these 6 colors a good look over. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. Now, what thoughts, feelings, emotions come to mind? Pause the video and make your selections. Make note of them in your PDF. There's also room given for you to note down additional feelings or emotional connections the colors bring up for you. So let's begin by considering how color affects us. And I'm not only talking about our emotions. I mean how it impacts us deep down. Colors do more than just look pretty or bright. They can change how we feel inside, without us even realizing it. They can even affect your heart and respiratory rates. Can you believe that? It's hard to think that something as simple as color can have major physiological effects. Colors weave in and out of our lives in many forms, and it is quite evident that we often associate specific thoughts and feelings with them. Let's look at each of our primary and secondary colors and consider what our minds associate with each one. Where do humans frequently see red in nature or the world? What comes to mind? When you consider the color red, think of how early humans might have seen red in blood, signaling danger or life, or in ripe fruits, hinting at nourishment. Where is red used in our modern world? I tend to think about stop signs, stoplights, and sirens. If you think about this context, what feelings does the color red evoke in you? For me, it grabs my attention and might even increase my heart rate. Why do you think some of the most recognizable companies like Coca-Cola, Netflix, and Target choose red for their logos? What common goals do these brands share in their use of color? It is possible these brands choose to use red because they want to stand out, capture your attention quickly, or create a sense of urgency or excitement around their products. Red is a powerful color in psychology. It is associated with hot, spicy flavors. It is known to grab attention quickly, which is why it's used for emergency vehicles. It can also stimulate feelings of excitement or urgency. This is why you might feel a rush when you see a sale sign in red. It's not just urging you to look, but to act. Think about the last time you saw a beautiful sunset, felt the warmth of a fire, or even spotted a ripe pumpkin during fall. Orange is everywhere, signaling change, warmth, and energy. This very fun color, vibrant and full of life, has a unique place in nature and our daily lives. Now let's talk about orange in design. Can you think of any brands that use orange in their logos? I think about brands like Amazon, Fanta, and Home Depot. Orange is really good at grabbing our attention too, right? But it's also associated with fun, creativity, and energy. So why would that be an appealing color to use for a brand? Well, these brands might be using orange because they want to give off a friendly and energetic vibe, making you feel like you're in for something exciting. When I see an orange logo, I feel a bit more upbeat and ready to dive into whatever product they're offering. Now, where might you see yellow pop up in nature? I see yellow as sunlight, spring flowers, ripe lemons, and even canaries. What feelings do yellow and some of those associated objects bring to mind for you? Maybe hope and positivity because it's so bright. In our daily lives, we see yellow in places like school buses, caution signs, and highlighters, where it's used to grab our attention and highlight important information. Now, think about logos that use yellow. McDonald's, IKEA. Why do you think that is? Yellow can actually help our brains work better and make us more alert. Can you make a connection to how sunlight wakes us up and makes us feel energized? Maybe since yellow makes us happy or bright, these brands want us to have those feelings about them. Imagine yourself in a lush forest. Early humans would have seen green in the leaves of trees, signaling safety and shelter, or in ripe fruits and vegetables, indicating sustenance. Where do you see green being used in our environment today? I often think of recycling bins and the green go light at traffic stops. Green has a significant place in psychology too. It can relax and soothe us, perhaps because it reminds us of nature. It's also a symbol of health and prosperity, seen in money or phrases like green living. Now, considering companies like Animal Planet, Whole Foods, and John Deere, why do you think they've chosen green for their logos? Do you see any common themes in how these brands use the color? Green's associations with health, growth, success, and the environment are why you might find it in logos for companies focused on these areas. Now, blue. Think about this. Where is blue commonly seen? What images or scenes come to mind? Blue is everywhere around us, from the vast sky above to the deep oceans below. Early humans would have looked up at the blue sky and clear waters as a sign of calm weather. Blue continues to surround us today. Consider uniforms. What type of occupations often wear blue? Police officers, doctors, nurses, people we hold with a certain esteem or trust. Think about blue in branding. Consider brands like Facebook, IBM, and Samsung. Why do you think blue is so predominant in their logos? What do these companies aim to convey with the color blue? In psychology, blue promotes feelings of peace and tranquility. Blue can slow our heart rate and reduce stress, making it a color that symbolizes stability and reliability. Blue is a favorite color for technology companies. These brands likely choose blue to represent themselves as trustworthy and dependable. Next, imagine yourself in a field of lavender or violets. Pansies, irises, lilacs, and other types of flowers are all common versions of purple. But where else is violet hiding? It's a color that often represents rarity and beauty. In our daily lives, violet can be found in decor and clothing. When I think of violet, I imagine the luxurious appearance of an amethyst. In psychology, violet is often associated with imagination and spirituality. Violet is linked to luxury because it was historically tied to royalty and wealth. This is because the dye used to make violet was expensive and rare. Believe it or not, snails were used to make this dye. You can look it up to learn more. Not many companies use violet in their branding, but a few that come to mind include Hallmark, Twitch, and Cadbury. Why do you think violet is a prominent color in their branding? Given violet's connections to creativity, luxury, and uniqueness, these brands might select it to stand out from the crowd and to emphasize their innovative and premium qualities. We just made a quick examination of primary and secondary colors, but that's just scratching the surface. There are countless other colors, each carrying its own unique message and vibe. As you explore further, consider the color choices of different brands. Do you see any other patterns in how certain types of companies choose their colors? In the PDF, we'll ask if you think of any specific instances where you feel that the use of color in branding has been particularly effective or ineffective, and how these color choices affect you personally. Color in marketing isn't just about aesthetics. It's about connection and communication. It can attract, inform, and even persuade. I encourage you to try and consider how color influences your perceptions and choices. To learn more about the power of colors and how they affect our feelings and choices, check out the attached PDF. Also included is a fun extension activity that asks you to imagine you're launching your own brand and creating a logo for it. Think carefully about what colors you would choose for the logo and why. Remember, color and art are all around you.
Hey, hey.